baseball won the night. Dodger Stadium, iconic as it always is, was packed. It often is on the biggest nights. It was 40-year-old Adam Wainwright. 40 years old, 400-plus career starts. And one of the proudest baseball franchises, the St. Louis Cardinals, said, "Sir, can you extend our season?" He tried. And then there was Max Scherzer, great as a Tiger, great as a National, bounced around more. He'll be a Hall of Famer, too. Max Scherzer, though, at 37 years old, did not have his best stuff. Oh, he was good, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But he didn't have great stuff. But at 37 years old, he's been in so many big spots and so many big games, he got the outs that were needed. It never looked easy. The Dodgers fall behind 1-0, and they needed every bit of their roster to win last night. So who else but Justin Turner? Sometimes he looks like an unmade bed of a dude. But if you ask anybody in Los Angeles, if there's one batter you'd want at the plate in the bottom of the ninth in Game 7, it's Justin Turner, a professional baseball hitter, and my favorite Dodger. He tied the game at 1. That's in the 4th. We go to the 5th, and Scherzer now is in more trouble. 2 runners on, and the Dodgers go to the bullpen. Joe Kelly, who's had a sensational season, an embattled career, and one of the nastiest curves you'll ever see, used it to get out of a very tough jam. The Dodgers bullpen on the night was magnificent. 5 relievers, no runs surrendered against a very potent offense. And as Cody Bellinger has struggled all year, the former MVP, he had a very big night. Stolen bases, couple of hits. We go to the 9th, still tied. Bellinger, and again, he's very prone for the long ball. But it was stealing bases and singles last night. He gets on in the 9th, and here comes Chris Taylor, who has had a lousy month. Chris Taylor didn't even start. Chris Taylor, who'd had an awful month hitting, and Justin Turner, and Cody Bellinger, and Joe Kelly, and the rest of the bullpen, and Max Scherzer. This is not a rest on your laurels city. It's highly competitive in television, in tech, in entertainment, in agriculture, and in sports. It's LeBron factor. He came to town and everybody ramped it up. Right now, Los Angeles is the winningest pro sports city in America. The Rams win, and the Dodgers win, and the Lakers win, and the Clippers win, and now the Chargers are winning. And the reason they're winning is because very smart front offices who have been very shrewdly aggressive and spent the money that this market enables you to spend. And the Dodgers needed every dollar last night to get by a great franchise and probably the second greatest pitcher. You seam heads know the answer behind Bob Gibson in St. Louis Cardinals history. Magnificent night. Baseball gave us urgency, and when it does, it steals the night. Great win for the Dodgers. They extend the series to San Francisco. They have never met the Giants in the postseason. So these singular playoff games are odd. I'm not a huge fan. I don't think baseball's about a game. I think it's about a volume of games. It's about duration, longevity, a staff. It's about variables and elements that make a great baseball team, which the Dodgers needed all of last night. But the Dodgers were put in a position because the only team better in baseball than them was in their division, and they needed last night to win to face the Giants. They are favored, should be, as that will be as good a baseball series outside of the World Series as we've had in several years. So the last 2 days, all I've heard, and baseball fans do this, the solution is always blame the manager. Instead of acknowledging your bullpen isn't good, acknowledging some of your big acquisitions aren't great. So Aaron Boone is suddenly no good, despite the fact that the Yankees went and acquired Joey Gallo, who can't hit. 160, 88 strikeouts in 58 games. That's not Aaron Boone's fault. He can't hit for him. And Dave Roberts cracks me up. Dave Roberts, in the 5th inning last night, pulled Max Scherzer. And as I was sitting on the couch, my thing was, good call. He doesn't have his best stuff. And Scherzer's great, and Scherzer wasn't happy. But Max, because he's a Hall of Famer, was just getting through. You could ask him. He didn't have his best stuff. He was just what a Hall of Famer does. He was just getting through innings. Couldn't spot his pitches. And 2 runners on, and this was going to be a game where you could not blow an inning. They already fell behind. They're at home. You can't blow an inning. So they bring in Joe Kelly. who again had a great year. Nasty curve, and it got them out of the jam. And then they went eventually to Kenley Jansen, who had a bad year last year. This year was phenomenal. This is the second best bullpen in baseball, and 2 of the 5 relievers, the one in crisis and the one to close it, are 2 of their best. Folks, Greg Popovich, remember we used to call him the best coach in the NBA when Phil Jackson retired? Hasn't won a playoff series since 2017. Last 2 years can't even get to the playoffs, and half the NBA gets to the playoffs. He can't even get to the playoffs. Bill Belichick can no longer win home football games. Forget big road playoff games. Bill can't win at home. You're as good as your talent. Last night, the decision. This was a game. And remember, Dave Roberts has massive expectations from ownership. He's got a huge payroll. That in itself is a component you deal with in a locker room. Highly compensated players. You're walking on some eggshells with some egos. It's an incredibly deep roster. You've got to keep people happy. He dealt with major injuries to the staff. Cody Bellinger was hurt. Mookie Betts was hurt. Bellinger had a bad year. Again, this is a tightrope. It's a 162-game season. A player turns on you in May, you may lose the locker room. The late Billy Martineau has said, in a baseball locker room, 10 guys love me and 10 guys hate me. I try to keep the 5 guys that are undecided away from the 10 guys who hate me. And Roberts has it's Joe Torre. It's a kind of a avuncular, an uncle, a fatherly sort of personality, intense when he has to be, demanding infrequently. But go look at the NFL standings this morning. Let's start with the AFC. You're going to see a trend here. If you go look at the NFL standings, let's see who leads the AFC East. Oh, they have the best quarterback, Josh Allen. Who leads the AFC North? Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. In my opinion, the 2 most talented quarterbacks. Who leads the AFC South? Right now, the quarterback playing the best, Ryan Tannehill. Who leads the AFC West? Well, Mahomes is 1 game out, but it's Herbert who's playing great, Derek Carr who's playing great, and Mahomes is 1 game out. Let's go to the NFC standings. Oh, this is remarkable. Who's leading those standings? Dak Prescott, the best quarterback in his division. Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback in his division. Tom Brady, the best quarterback in his division. By the way, Sam Darnold is second. He's playing second best. And Kyler Murray, right now, is playing the best football in his division. You're as good as your players. You got to have closers. You got to have talent. The bottom line is, Dave Roberts, everybody thinks, give me all the good players, and I'll just insert them. Folks, you could see how upset Max Scherzer was when you pulled him out of the game. That's the eggshells. That's the tightrope of managing Hall of Fame pitchers. And Scherzer's going to be a Hall of Famer. Great with Detroit. Great with Washington. These are tough conversations. They leave marks. Scherzer wouldn't give him the ball. He shook his hand. This stuff is hard. And, you guys all want to eat baseball managers alive. It's not Aaron Boone's fault that the front office signed Giancarlo Stanton, who's the same player as Aaron Judge, just older and more expensive, and they signed Joey Gallo, who can't hit, and they paid a fortune for him. I'm off my soapbox.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.